And welcome. Kimberly Castleberry here with JustAskKim.com and today's Marketing Roundup. There's been a lot of things in the news this week, so let's jump in and get started. The biggest one of interest to many WordPress bloggers has been an increase in the case of voter fraud. Now, it might seem telling that this week has been an election week in the United States, but the voter fraud, has nothing to do with voting machines. You see, it turns out that all of these social media buttons on our blogs that we've come to know, like, and trust can actually be duped. And just like the publication of fake RSS subscription counters back several years ago, now we're seeing plugins start to offer features to enable you to dupe your reader. Well, this is a fast track to not being a blogger any longer. This is a fast track to having somebody call you out of the water and losing every ounce of credibility you've got out here. Because at the end of the day, frankly, you have nothing but your name. It is your name that is your brand and is your reputation. And a plugin like this can get you in the doghouse really, really fast. So whether you're looking at one of these plugins that lets you bluff your social media buttons, or whether you're looking at one that enables you to bluff the star ratings contributed by readers to create a value on your post, don't do it. It's a quick way to get yourself in trouble. And in fact, you really should look dubiously at marketers who are promoting this kind of stuff. Any marketer that's doing this is really encouraging stuff that is well beyond gray hat. We're not necessarily talking hats because we're not talking safety and security, or we're not talking necessarily, jipping Google, but it's a blatant out lie to readers. And so you need people that are going to walk the line. You need people that are going to keep you safe out here, because goodness knows there's enough garbage out here. Speaking of dubious stuff, also in the news is PayPal's new two-factor authentication. Now, generally speaking, you've heard me speak very, very highly of two-factor authentication. If you don't have two-factor authentication enabled on your Google account, you're really setting yourself up for trouble. So, set up the two-factor authentication to enable your account to be a lot more secure. Suggest that you do the similar function with your Facebook account. If you don't know how to do that, there's links to blog posts. We'll put them below the video, and you'll find them on the blog. However, with PayPal's two-factor authentication, they're kind of cheating, because a two-factor authentication said mandate that you have the secondary device. Generally, that's a mobile phone. Of course, that does create trouble if you don't have your mobile phone, but that is the consequence of the added security. PayPal's two-factor authentication, however, simply allows somebody to say, I don't have the phone, and get in anyways. So it's not a two-factor authentication in the true sense, because the one factor can be completely ignored. This returns you back to being a single-factor authentication, and that results in nothing more than simply headaches for yourself while not stopping the hackers in the least bit. Come on, PayPal, let's do it right. Speaking of Facebook and getting with the times, there's a little security concern going on, and that is that most people have this assumption that if you go into the About section of your Facebook profile and you go to your phone number there, that if you mark it to either yourself only, or maybe just friends, or maybe even just a list, that the phone number is truly and honestly only available to those people to connect them to you. Well, what it turns out is that there's a whole nother section in Facebook's privacy section called How You Connect, and How You Connect has an option that says who can use your phone number to look you up on Facebook. This is a reverse index. This is what we would call a reverse phone book, where you have a phone number and you use it to look somebody up on Facebook. Generally speaking, we want our friends to be able to look us up on Facebook. That's a great idea. However, what's happening is that spammer companies, telecommunication companies, the same guys that call you up and market to you while you're trying to eat dinner at night on the call you up on the telephone, are now taking these big phone lists and now drilling them into Facebook and pulling up what your Facebook profile is. So now, not only do they have your phone number, but when connected to the public component of your Facebook profile, they at least have your name. They may actually have more than that if your Facebook, like mine, is relatively public. So you need to really think about whether you wish people to be able to look you up by your phone number. With us moving more and more away from phone numbers in this new generation of technology, I really think that some people are probably actually okay to go ahead and disable that function and make it so that people generally can't look you up by your phone number. Speaking of increasing your safety, WordPress bloggers have been avid and livid to try to control scrapers. Now, scraper is a tool or a little web robot that goes around and takes your blog post and steals it and republishes it on their blog like it's theirs. Scrapers are constantly the bane of bloggers, and it's not just WordPress bloggers, but with WordPress powering almost 20% of the web today, WordPress is definitely a force to be reckoned with. But a lot of bloggers are going to this extreme of enabling some right-click blocking in an attempt to prevent people from using the copy functionality to copy their post right out of their site. Well, that would make sense if and only if scrapers were actually functioning that way, but scrapers actually don't. They delve into the code level or the RSS level or another tool in order to pull that data straight out of the site. They tend to visit with script blocking enabled so that scripts like that actually won't impact them at all. So when you're blocking right-click functionality, all you're actually blocking is things like right-click spell check and things like right-click social media syndication and things that your actual reader actually uses. Blocking right-click is a great way to aggravate a really quality reader while not stopping the scraper at all. I know that's disappointing, but unfortunately it's true. And something else, unfortunately, but it's true, we've talked a lot this week and in the last video about the things going on with Facebook pages. If you have not seen that video, and if you have a Facebook page, please be sure you watch that. I kid you not when I say that that could have been a paid training. There are people refusing to talk about the things going on with Facebook pages. And if you are not in the know, your business is going to be hurt by this stuff. So get over there and watch that video. It's going to make a big difference for you. But one other thing has come to light, and that's that in addition to all the stuff we talked about and all the problems facing pages, many pages are now having their comments collapsed in the news feed. So when a post from a page, an item from a page, goes into the news feed of its fans, oftentimes it's having the comment system collapsed all the way up into just a little link that says comment. And you can't tell who's commented on it until you open it and click it. And this is more than what is happening with posts from profiles. Posts from profiles might be partially collapsed, but usually you see the last one or two, or you see one from your friends. And so with them hiding this on pages, this is actually going to contribute or continue to contribute to pages having lower and lower rates of engagement. Because when fans see that their friends have commented, they're more likely to engage. When fans see that people that they know are engaging, they're more likely to engage. That's the fundamental of social proof. And Facebook hiding that element of social proof, otherwise known as prior comments, is only going to hurt us as page owners. Again, go check out that video training we've done on the stuff going on with Facebook pages. You've really got to get your head around it because Facebook is not the same Facebook we were dealing with a year ago. However, one thing that Facebook does have going for it, as Carter, who was on Bloomberg the other day, managed to point out, is that Facebook has managed to get mobile advertising working better than most people predicted they would. Mind you, I still don't know that the system is real great, and I still don't know the actual long-term valuation of depending on click and view ads. However, Facebook has worked really hard in the last couple months and has done a reasonably decent job of monetizing their mobile platform. Who would have thought? That has been Facebook's crippling factor, but it has been a factor that has crippled all sites that have moved into web digital on these mobile devices. And nobody was getting it right. Nobody was sorting it out. And the lack of advertising revenue that was coming from these mobile sites, or from the mobile visits on the mobile site, is actually what had a whole lot to do with Facebook stock having plummeted. And a number of factors have come into play. The Facebook stock hit where analysts had valued it as being worth, which was the $17 mark. About the same time it hit that $17 mark, Facebook got these ads working a little better. And so that combined with, it hitting the analyst mark are starting to bring Facebook prices back up for their stocks. This is a good sign. This is a good, healthy sign. Facebook needs to continue this growth curve. They need to continue getting their income and their revenue stable. They need to continue moving that forward, and they need to continue being able to show shareholders that they are doing the things it takes to monetize all the traffic they have. And that comes back to the real key point of you need to pay attention to whether you are monetizing the traffic you have. Oftentimes, and I'm not exempt from this, we find that if we look in Google Analytics, we have some pages or posts on our blog that are getting good traffic that are simply not converting. If you're already getting the traffic, you already have one foot in the door. Take those pages and posts and really go back into them and rework them. Now, you got to be gentle if they're getting SEO traffic, because you don't really want to disrupt the SEO, but really rework the post, rework the items offered, rework maybe a different pop-up, maybe a different banner ad, maybe a banner ad at the foot of the post, maybe one at the head of the post. Do something different. You've got traffic, and when you've got traffic, then the next step is conversion. If you haven't already featured or focused on conversion, that's something to get figured out, because conversion is the next step. You've got to take that traffic. You've got all this traffic up here. We're coming into the funnel. The first step of conversion is to get an opt-in. Next step of conversion generally is to get a sale. Doesn't always go in that order. That's all right, but we're bringing this traffic in. If you're getting the traffic, you've got a great win, but you still have to get it converted. So look at the places that you're already getting traffic and focus on getting those converted, because that moves you further down the funnel and is going to help you get to money in your wallet a lot faster, which is something that most bloggers would like to see happen. This has been Kimberly Castleberry with JustAskKim.com, and this is your Marketing Roundup.